Last night, we heard from hostages who survived the unthinkable and are still haunted by what happened on October 7th. Tonight, we'll hear more about how they're coping and hear from those whose loved ones are still in Hamas captivity. A wife, a brother, a daughter, still waiting, still hoping, still living in a terrifying limbo after more than 600 days. They are facing unimaginable pain, and yet they continue to fight, to speak out, and to beg the world not to look away. Their stories must be heard, and they are stories we will not stop telling. I have a few important questions here. The first one is to you, Aviva. How is Keith different from what he was before, after 484 days of captivity, as you've gotten him back? And how is he different, and is he getting back to his old self?
As you see, he looks well, but he didn't look well when he came back. He was very, very thin, and it took a while for him to look like Keith. And I was very, very worried. And, you know, lots of people ask me how Keith is, and I say that Keith is like somebody that came back after 484 days. But not only that, he is a hostage that is doing everything that he can to bring all the hostages home. And so he hasn't got no time to take care about what he went through. And he didn't know anything that happened in Israel. He didn't know that 64 people were killed on his community. The best friends of his kids, his best friends, his neighbors, and what happened. And I think that...
I just want to say 64 out of a total of 800 in our community. We're a community of 800 people. 64 were murdered on October the 7th. Our friends, our neighbors, people that we've been living with for years. And 19 of us were kidnapped into Gaza. And as Aviva said, Gali and Ziv, the twin brothers, are still there.
And I want to say that it's going to take a while. I haven't started to treat myself like I was supposed to. And I hope that all the hostages come home, that Keith and I will be able to think about ourselves a little bit and try and, live our lives. I can say that the family really helps, and our grandchildren really help us to smile. But inside, I feel like so much has been taken away from me, and it hasn't come back yet. And Keith hasn't come back to me either. And I hope it'll happen. I just hope it'll happen.
People ask me, I've mentioned this a few times, but people have asked me, how do people in Israel deal with the post-traumatic stress disorder? And my answer has been always the same. It's not post yet. There's nothing post about this.
Because
it's current stress disorder syndrome. This isn't past. There's nothing post about this. It's not over. It's still there. And you're a hostage as long as Omri's a hostage. You're physically out of there, but it's clear to me from a psychological standpoint, you're there with Omri. I
Yes.
mean, you're there with these twins. You're there with all of these people. Your integrity is, until they're out, you're not out. You still have a foot in there for them. You can't celebrate.
Absolutely.
This isn't
Absolutely.
a celebratory moment for you. You're glad to be back with Aviva, but you're still there with these others. You don't have it in you to celebrate.
I can tell you more than this. Even me and my two daughters that don't be in Gaza. We just was a hostage in our home. Even we are still there. I always say, we are in the same day. We are really in October 7th. My daughter's Ronnie, there is a night and a morning that she wake up and she go under the table or go and lock the door because she's thinking about this all the time. And she told me all the time, maybe the bad people comes now. Maybe they came again. Maybe they took mommy. Maybe they took me. Maybe Alma. And she always in this day, and You know, I always said I talk about my daughters a lot. And when I talk about my daughters, I really think I talk about all the children in our country, in Israel, and around the world, really. Because there is a lot of war around us. And when we become parents, we always want to do everything that we can to change this world, to be a better world for our children. And in Israel, for more than 1.5 years, we not do it. We can't do it. So we really need to bring them back home.
Absolutely.
To recover and to heal. And first of all, our children, they have to live in a better world, really.
Yeah.
You know that Idan Alexander came back just a little while ago.
Right.
Thank you to Trump, to President Trump. And I want to say that I didn't sleep that night. I was just so happy. I couldn't relax myself. I was just so happy for him, for his family. And I do know that all the good people in the whole world were happy with them. And so many people didn't know what to do with themselves because they were so happy. So we need them to come home because we're human. We have hearts and we feel, so we can allow ourselves to feel happy for them, but we feel really, really sad for all the hostage families and for Omri still to be there. It's ridiculous after 1.5 years going through what he's going through.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. Your savings are at risk. With the economy on shaky ground, the dollar losing value, and a $2 trillion deficit, things could spiral. Don't wait for the worst. Take control of your financial future now. I trust Preserve Gold to safeguard my accounts, and I urge you to do the same. They're the only precious metals company I recommend. What are you going to do to protect what's yours? Claim your special offer and learn how to reinforce your financial future. Visit drphilgold.com to get your free precious metals guide from Preserve Gold. With gold prices recently breaking records and analysts predicting this trend to continue through 2025, you cannot afford to wait. As a bonus, you can get up to $15,000 with a qualified purchase from Preserve Gold. So don't wait. Visit drphilgold.com today. Yael and Adi, I see smiles on both of your faces, and you certainly see one on mine. I'm so glad that we're here talking about this great time when you have Idan back in your arms. Tell me how you're feeling at this point.
We feel unbelievable. It's really out-of-body experience, to see our son for the first time after so long, 584 days, and he looked okay. He was like the same tall, beautiful kid, even next to the captors. That surprised me, really.
Mom, how about you?
Oh my God, when I saw the first picture that Hamas released, I thought, oh, this is my boy. Such a beautiful, tall, standing tall. And I was so proud of him.
This meant so much to those who still have people in captivity, and they've taken so much inspiration from the scenes that they've seen of your family coming together and having such joy, and they hang on to that. It means so much to them. So you've been a real inspiration to so many of those folks.
Yeah, we in touch with all the families. We know every name of every hostage left. The fight is not over. I wish for other families to have the same experience, truly out-of-body experience like we experienced it, and just to pass it the finish line. And hopefully Dan's release will be a trigger for more to come.
Is there a difference between Hamas and the Palestinian population as a whole, or have those lines been blurred?
I just want to say that Hamas is responsible of what is happening to the Gaza people too. And we've heard it so many times. We've heard it so many times that one father just went to take a little bit of food for his children. and he was killed just for doing that, looking after his family. And I want everybody to know that what they're doing there to their people, we needed to stop. We need the world to stop this cruelty for all the children all over the world. They don't deserve to be in a war zone, but they're there because nobody's taking care of them. And like I said, all the children in Israel are scared to go to sleep. It needs to stop. We need the leaders of the world to lead this world. That's what they've been chosen for. We can talk, we can use our words, and we could stand on tables and shout, but we need the leaders of this world to lead the world for us to a better world and not allow anybody do whatever they want to children. You know, when I hear in the news that 10 kids in Gaza were killed, I know that Hamas is responsible. It's not Israel that kills them. They put them in a dangerous place where there's war. They don't protect the people.
Well, is there a difference? I've interviewed survivors at different kibbutz, and they have said that they heard hundreds of women and children pour into their homes when they were in the safe room, ransacking their houses and taking things. Were these Palestinian people? Were these Hamas wives and children who were pouring into their homes and stealing their things?
You know that
Were
we were
these
in the
Palestinians
house.
or were they Hamas?
We were in the house that there was a wife of the Hamas terrorist that he wanted to kill us. And she knew exactly what he was doing. Is that okay? Is she Hamas or is she a Palestinian?
That's my question.
We don't know.
As hostages, we were not allowed to have any contact with civilians, other than we were only allowed to have contact with our captors, which are members of Hamas, a terrorist organization. What I do know is, as you mentioned, civilians took part in the October 7th attack, the massacre. And I know from what we saw, some of them were dressed in army military uniforms and others were civilians. But I can't tell you, as far as the percentage-wise of the population, how they feel.
It's hard to know.
It's hard to know.
Last question. I'll be with the president in 2 days' time, if schedules hold. What message can I carry to him from you?
I can say that we really appreciate what you've done until now, really. You know, in Hebrew we say that all person, it's like a all word, you know. So the president, it's give us 38 word when the last deal, and also a new word for us when Idan Alexander released before 1 week. And we need him. We really need him because we have over there in hell, and it's hell. You know, we say Gaza, we say a lot of words, but it's like hell over there. And I know that he's going to do everything that he can until Omri comes back, until all the 58s come back, because we need this.
Do you believe that Trump is committed to this?
I do, and I just want to say that I want to ask you to tell President Trump from me that he must think what he would have done if it was his family, if it was his children that were there. Gali and Sivi are 27 years old. They are in the worst place in earth. I was there, I know what it feels, I know what it looks like. And he's got the strength, and I believe in him, and I want to give him my strength to make him even stronger. He needs to lead the world and not allow terror to win.
Your strength and your ability to endure is inspiring, and thank you for taking the time to share it with me and talk about all this. And I will get this message out further and further, and we'll stay in touch about this, okay?
Thank you so much.
This is an opportunity for me to say once again to President Trump, thank you for getting me out. Thank you for reuniting me with my family. Thank you for getting all of the hostages out, that he was able to secure the agreement that got us out. And I believe in President Trump. I believe that he is committed to achieving an agreement, getting the hostages back, ending the war. He's shown that he has the capability, has the power of doing it. And I urge him to continue and to set it as a high priority. It's urgent. We need to get all of the 58 hostages back as soon as possible. They need to be saved.
Well said.
Thank you.
One last thing I want to say to you. You need to take care of you, because you can't give away what you don't have. And Omri is coming home. These twins are coming home. These hostages, I believe President Trump will get them home. And you can't give away what you don't have. If you don't take care of you, and when they come home, you're emotionally bankrupt because you haven't cared for you, you can't take care of them. You can't give to them. So
Thank you.
hear me when I tell you that.
Thank you.
Proud to know you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This episode is brought to you by Masa Chips. For decades, chips were fried in tallow until big corporations switched to cheap seed oils. Now, seed oils make up 20% of the average American's daily calories, linked to inflammation and metabolic issues. Masa is bringing back the good stuff with 3 simple ingredients: organic nixtamalized corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. No seed oils, no junk, just a crunchy, sturdy chip that won't break in your guac. Masa Chips is beloved by tens of thousands of customers and has been endorsed by industry-leading health and nutrition experts like Ben Greenfield and Gary Brecka. Ready to give Masa a try? Go to masachips.com/merit and use code MERIT for 25% off your first order. That's masachips.com/merit and code MERIT for 25% off your first order. Well, Eli, thank you for sitting down and talking to me about this. I wish we were talking about 1,000 other things beside this, but your brother, Eviatar, you refer to him as Evie, is 24 years old, and he was taken from the Nova Festival, right?
That's right.
I've been to that venue, and it had a haunting feel to it when I was there. When was the last time you saw your brother before he was taken?
The last time I saw him was October 6th. I sat down for dinner with my parents and Evetar and my younger sister. And it was a holiday for Simchat Torah. And we knew that he's going to a festival in the south. And that's it. Usually, every Friday, we sit down to play music together. But he was in a hurry, so we didn't. And we gave a hug and a kiss to each other. That's it.
What kind of music?
I think everything. He really loves hard rock and metal, but also classics, Queen, AC/DC, Israeli classics. He's very, very talented, really. He's a brilliant guitar player.
You had no idea what his status was for how long before you saw a video with him in it?
The first time we saw him, it was on October 7th. We had videos that Hamas posted on Telegram. We saw Evetar inside a cell. It looked underground. It was dark. He was terrified. He was handcuffed. It was a very violent video, and he was looking straight into the camera. No doubt it's Evetar. And all of us just fell apart to see. I mean, just imagine how it is to see your younger sibling inside the most terrifying situation ever. So every time I try to remember what I felt, I'm shutting down because it's so hard. I really blacked out when I saw it. And for a very, very long time, we had no other sign of life for more than 500 days.
Have you had any information from any other of the hostages that have been released that have seen him, how he's doing? What have you learned from those that have been released?
So on February 22nd, last February, 3 months ago, Hamas released a video which showed Eviatar and his friend Guy. They were
Now,
kidnapped.
this is his best friend. They were taken together, right?
That's right. They were taken together, and it's a miracle that they stayed together. Hamas terrorists took them to watch other hostages being released on February, and then they begged for their lives in front of the camera, and they were sent back into the dungeon, as far as we know. Which is, I think, that it's a sick torture that the terrorists are using on them, and it's a daily abuse that they are going through. And then we've met with the hostages that stayed with them, those captivity survivors, and they tell about a very small space, 3.5 feet on 30 feet. They are forced to do their needs right next where they sleep. They are adult men and they barely can stand up straight. Very small amounts of food, very small amounts of water, no sunlight. They are disconnected from the outside world completely. And there's a constant light above their heads. So there's no day or night. And it can drive you crazy. And if that's not enough, they have abusive captors. And we know that for them, every second is crucial. And every second it's like an eternity for them. And we just fight to save their lives. That's what we're doing, saving their lives.
Right.
I know.
With so much going on in your life, it can be easy to neglect your diet. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements have 31 ingredients made from fruits and vegetables. They're a fast and simple way to get a wide and colorful variety that fits right into your busy schedule. Just 3 fruits and 3 veggies supplements daily with some water, that's it. Whether you're off to spend time with your grandchildren or on your favorite hike, you can rely on these convenient supplements to be there every step of the way. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first preferred set as a new preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Dr. Phil. That's DRPHIL. How does he look to you now in this picture compared to how he looks when you last saw him?
I saw how thin he is first. The hostages that stayed with them lost nearly half their weight. I see the look in his eyes. He looks desperate and exhausted. And I fear that he lost hope. And I know that underground, in that hideous conditions, you lose hope every day and you try to gain hope every day. And we have the same body language. So every facial express that he made, I know what stands behind it. I know that he really wanted to burst in tears, but he wouldn't give it to the terrorists. So he held himself very strong. So it's a fight for them, not only to survive, but also to stay sane. That's, I think, the main battle right now, to stay sane, to go through it and come back to us.
They appear to be in some kind of vehicle there.
Yeah.
So they appear that they're moving them around some, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think they were led to believe they were going to be released. Then they had them watch other hostages being released and then pulled them back.
Yeah.
Psychological warfare.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it was.
Do you know what the plans are or the strategies are to try and get the next hostages released at this point?
I don't know for sure. I did met a few times with Ambassador Witkoff and his team, and I see the commitment. And I went to the White House a couple of times, and I see the determination, and they all tell the same thing. We're gonna bring all the hostages home, all of them. And it doesn't matter if they're American or not. And I really think that they feel like it's their duty for humankind right now to bring those innocent people back. And I also believe it's the first step to destroy the terror in the region and give a better future to the region. And I think the White House understand that, and they really try to make things done right now. I mean, that's what President Trump is going to do, to make things done and bring a better future to all of us.
You say when Eden Alexander was released, that gave you hope.
Yeah.
So there is movement, something's happening.
Yes.
Do you think President Trump will get the deal done?
I really think so. I really trust him, because it took a year and 2 months from the first the first deal in November 2023. It took a year and 2 months until we saw any movement and hostages coming back, and it was because Trump was elected, President Trump was elected. And I really see how he tried to make everyone uncomfortable in order to do the right choice. So I'm very hopeful right now. And seeing Idan comes back, it filled my heart with joy. And I know his family for so long, because we became family. All the hostage families, we really became family. So it really filled me with joy and hope. And the first thing he said to President Trump was, there are others there. We have to bring all of them back. I think they're really trying to do whatever they can.
But you know, the reality is, you know your brother, you see it in his face and his eyes. The hostage was released, that's great, but you don't want people to get comfortable. You don't want people to take a deep breath, because you know these hostages are decaying in those tunnels. They're deteriorating, they're falling apart. It's just a matter of how much resilience do they have?
Yes.
How much strength do they have? Is it today, tomorrow, a week from now? At some point, they're gonna break, and even if you get them back, you won't have them back. There has to be urgency every single minute of every single day to get them back.
That's right. That's why we're fighting so hard.
Yeah. You don't want anybody to let up 1 second. This has to stay front burner, high priority every step of the way.
Yes.
And that's why we're having this conversation. And I agree with you 100%. And I pledge to you to keep a bright light on this. And I'm glad we're talking now. And you have my commitment. I'm going to keep this front burner and keep a bright light on this.
You know, we are manifesting Evetar's return. I go to bed every day knowing Evetar is coming back. And I wake up every morning knowing Evetar is coming back on his feet to play music again with me and be the amazing son he is to my parents. I see it clearly in my mind, and that's what really leads me.
Well,
and I know it will happen.
I want to talk to both of you when he comes back. We'll celebrate that.
Yes, we will celebrate.
Do you believe that President Trump taking a strong stand here had a big influence on your son's release?
Let me just put something really nice for the audience. So Idan, after the President Trump was reelected, actually he saw that video, he saw that picture. So the Hamas showed Idan this picture. That was even before the President Trump was reelected. He saw that picture. He was part of the Republican club in the high school, which is a really, funny thing. And he saw that picture. After the president was reelected, he was moved to another facility, believe it or not, with a better condition, so-called, maybe some more tea, some more food, extra tuna can, and nothing major really, but the President Trump's reelection played a major role for the first deal that happened on January 19. Definitely for our son's release, and hopefully for the next batch of the hostages out.
Bar, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
for joining us and talking about this. As
This is very hard for me.
I can only imagine, and one thing you will not hear me say is I know how you feel. Because how can you if you haven't been through it? I've been talking to Eli, and as I said to him, I wish we were talking about 1,000 other things than this. I'm sorry for the circumstance of our meeting for you both. I wish it was something else. And
Thank you. Next time, hopefully.
Yeah, you lost both of your parents, right? And you know that.
Yeah, I know
There's
that.
no mystery to it at all. Were both of them killed in the attack on the kibbutz?
Yeah,
But yet they took your father's body,
yeah.
even though he was already.
They knew he was already dead, and they still took him because they understood what is that for us, what's burial mean to us as a Jews, because they knew we are not like them, because they knew how sensitive it is for us. And they took his body, but they took everything from me because they took both of my parents, and have lost 102 of my friends from my kibbutz. And they burned their house, so I have no childhood memories. A few days ago, my kids asked me to see a picture of me when I was young. And I realized I don't have any picture of me.
Nothing.
Nothing left. So actually, they took everything from me, and they also took the basic right to bury my father, to say goodbye. And I don't know how to live in this cruel world. And I don't know which values I need to learn my kids. I don't know how to live in a country that's not doing everything to bring everyone home. And I'm sad all the time. And I'm scared. I have nightmares every day, every night, and I miss my parents and I need them. I was 8 months pregnant on October 7th, so actually my baby girl never get to know his grandparents. So
That's just so tragic. I hate that so much. Now, your father's name was Manny,
yeah,
and your mother's name was Ayelet.
yeah.
Okay, and now she called you that morning, right?
She called me screaming while I was hiding in the closet with my daughter.
And she said that your father had already been killed, and she was hiding in the bushes, right?
Yeah. I asked her to hide and to do the best she can so she would survive.
And you never heard from her again?
No. After 6 hours, her phone battery died and we lost the connection with her. And 10 days after the attack, we get the official notification that she actually executed. They shot her in her head at point blank range. So it was tragic.
It's just, it's cruel and it's a terrible thing. You have 3 siblings, right?
Yeah.
So you have family, thank God.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure the 4 of you are, hanging together.
Yeah, I'm always saying that if my parents knew this is the deal, that they have to die so we could live, they would do that again. Actually, we survived because they were in the front of the attack. And they saved us. This is the only reason why I'm still here, because the terrorist was outside my window. And they shooting at the window, and I was hiding in the closet. I was pregnant and I was with my little girl. And I was there for 20 hours with no water, no food, no electricity. Knowing that my father has been murdered, not knowing what's going on with my mother and with my brothers and sisters. And I knew I was stepping into a new reality, that nothing will ever be the same. But I didn't realize how big is that and how painful it's gonna be.
You said that you believe Prime Minister Netanyahu could end this thing right now and bring all the hostages home, those that are alive and those that are dead. How do you think he could do that?
Most of the Israeli people want to end the war and bring the hostages back. That's the top priority. And right now, Prime Minister Netanyahu is ignoring that. And all the hostages can be here tomorrow morning if he decides to do that, if he decides to end the war. And we can debate whether or not we should make a deal with Hamas, but the truth is that deals are made with enemies and not with friends. And that's the only way out. We need to end this war and bring all of them back home because we can't live like that.
Do you think you can make a deal with terrorists and trust them to keep it?
I see Hamas's cruelty in my own eyes. I know what it's like living under rocket. I've been there. It scared me. But I'm much more afraid of living in a country that does not bring their people home. I need my father back. I need to bury him. I need to tell him goodbye. And I think we can make a deal and stop this suffering of all of the people in Israel and in Gaza. There is no other way.
So you think whatever the cost, you should end the war?
We're talking about people. It's not a deal. We're talking about people. His brother is still alive.
We see how President Trump has a plan. He has a plan. He has a grand, tremendous deal to do right now. And it's not only about Israel and Gaza, it's about the Middle East. And he understands that right now, the hostages are the key into that future. And we believe our prime minister should get in line and go with President Trump, not against him. And we also understand that we are facing it's the face of evil on the other side. Hamas are the face of evil. And we understand that. But we believe that you cannot destroy terror only with a gun, only with a bullet. You have to use other tools, other leverages. And we believe that the State of Israel, with the United States, with a domestic coalition, can get it done. We can destroy Hamas, but it will take time. It will take 5 years, maybe 10 years.
His brother have no time. We need them.
Oh, I agree. It's gone on a long time.
Yeah, too much.
And I hate to see death on either side of that line. The question is, can you make a deal with the devil?
We did. We had plenty of them. That's why we can say it's possible. We had plenty of them. And we saw most of the hostages coming back in deals. More than 140 came back in a deal. And we know about 40 who has been murdered during the captivity. So
I don't think we have another choice.
yeah.
Well,
I
you
wish
deal
we
from-
had.
If you're going to make a deal, you have to deal from strength and not weakness. And,
That's right.
And Trump will definitely
That's
deal
right.
from strength.
That's right. And
Not
the
weakness.
state of Israel also in a very strong position right now.
And I think Hamas has never been weaker than they are right now. All right. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it, Laura.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you nothing but the best. I hope this comes to an end very quickly.
Hopefully.
I see in their eyes they need us.
Yes. And we can celebrate
Yes.
again and rise.
Yes, we'll do it. Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters,
The selection of a new pope.
entertainment you crave,
Busted.
Everybody in a good mood today?
and live events
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
with serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.